football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. And as you look inside, Lawrence, temperature 84 degrees, 52% humidity, just a Chamber of Commerce afternoon. And the third member of our team is Josh Sims, and he's got the story of E.J. Warner.
Well, that's right, Tim. Veteran quarterback E.J. Warner set to start for his third college football program after stops at Rice and at Temple. And despite that wealth of experience and the fact that his father is none other than Pro Football Hall of Famer Kurt Warner, he still had to go out and win that head quarterback job. Well, his head coach, Matt Entz, named him the starter last Monday. Said it was his leadership, his poise, and his ability to command this offense that gave him the leg up. I talked to his teammates about him. They said this kid is an absolute film junkie. They love his football intelligence. Now for EJ, it's not just about winning the starting quarterback job. It's about winning games and winning championships, and that starts out here tonight.
He learned the game working at North Dakota State. Spent a year under the tutelage of Lincoln Riley at USC. Said he got a lot out of it. And here's the kick coming down as Dylan Lynch puts a toe into it. And the season is underway. Emmanuel Henderson Jr., the former Alabama star, fleet-footed at wide receiver, only gets it out to the 14-yard line. And that's where Jaylen Daniels and company will start. There you see the passing yards overall. The issue last year prior to the injury was turnovers and perhaps trying a little bit too hard, trying to do too much. He also had an injured running back who's now in the Saints organization, Devin Neal, a homespun star, but they've got some outstanding backs. Daniel Highshaw, Deshaun Williams, and from just under the 15 at the 14-yard line, it's first down. Quick wide receiver screen taken by Henderson. Expect to hear that name quite often today. And he gets it out for the first down to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, if you're Kansas, you want to make sure you get your guys involved extremely quickly. They do a nice job of getting an easy completion to start this game for Jaylen Daniels, and you want to get the ball in Henderson's hand. I'm just telling you, Tim, watching him at practice, he is electric. His speed is mind-blowing.
First down. 5 wides, and again they go to the motion man, and he dropped it, got started a little too soon. That was Anika, the tight end, number 18. The offense, they called the guys up front the mob, the men of Booth. And Amir Herring will be starting at left tackle with Livingston, Foster, Baines, and Cruz. This is a big group, but it's a new group. And they're really high on the center, aren't they? They are really high on their center.
Absolutely.
Bryce Foster, redshirt freshman out of Katy, Texas. Transferred from Texas A&M. On second down. Burrowing ahead is Highshaw. And the Fresno State defense, they've got 2 outstanding bookends at the ends. Jason Jacks, one of them. You're going to be seeing a lot of later on. Corey Foreman on third down situations. That linebacking core, as they go with that 4-2 front. And then the secondary is really a strength for this team. Brazilian Hamilton, Jakari Embry, Harris, and Jaden Davis, along with Jaden Pearson in that linebacking core. They're really good as a group.
What you're going to see quite often is an opportunity for man-to-man coverage. And when you get those man looks, you want to give a chance to your wide receiver, Henderson.
Daniels running out of time. Look at him go. This is where he really is devastating. His ability to create. Last year he was converting on third downs, and that's how. I mean, that's how you do it, with your legs.
This is the danger of a dynamic quarterback. You see, everybody is covered. The coverage is really nice. They have guys in man-to-man coverage dropping off in the zone.
And they go with a wide receiver screen to Highshaw, who had flanked out there from the running back position. And they're going to go quick from time to time for Jim Zimbrowski, the offensive coordinator. Gain of 5 there.
Yeah, and to Tim, the finish on Daniels, his ability when you cover everyone to just create. He has 2 guys in his face, and they don't have a chance.
Highshaw burrows to about the 50. He'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down. mark him actually 3 yards shy. Jaden Davis, the free safety, comes up to give him the pop. So that's going to be 3rd down and a really long 2 coming up.
Offensive coordinator Jim Zabrowski is very comfortable in this down and distance with a quarterback that's so dynamic. You have a pretty open playbook. You can go with the read option. You can put a defensive end and a speed option opportunity, or you can throw the football, right? The ability of Jaylen Daniels presents a lot of options for Kansas here on 3rd down.
Bowden Groin, number 88, they're really high on. They'll use 4 different tight ends. He's in the slot right, and right up the gut goes Williams for the 1st down. Gain of 6 on the play. Jayhawks are into Fresno State territory. Lance Leipold beginning year number 4. Just a winner wherever he has been. Started at Wisconsin Whitewater with 3 national championships. On to Buffalo, where he created a strong foundation for that school before coming here to Kansas. He is the definition of a CEO, head football coach. Gives a lot of autonomy to his offensive and defensive coordinators. Little read action, and here goes Jaylen. There goes Jaylen. 1st down to the 20.
If that defensive end crashes down, there is no chance to stop Jaylen Daniels before he picks up a big chunk of yardage. 23 yards on that game with his legs.
Out of the shotgun on 1st down. Tempo. That's Cam Pickett. Down the picket fence for the touchdown. Pickett, the redshirt junior from Chicago, and he can go, as the Bulldogs found out.
That drive was the paradigm of what Coach Jim Zabrowski, the offensive coordinator, wanted to see from Jaylen Daniels. He's expanded those opening plays, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but you can see the clear comfort in the offense for Jaylen Daniels in his 6th year.
Did they go fast enough for you?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, the capacity crowd got what they wanted in their newly renovated stadium. As I said, what's old is the quarterback. He made some mature decisions. Pickett, just one of them. Magnificent flyover to start, and that was a beautiful flight in 9 plays for this Kansas team. Tell me about the touchdown.
Yeah, Tim, they did a really nice job of sneaking Cam Pickett into that running back position, and then you're going to see a player off the edge and a linebacker. Because the ball has been run so well, they get there, and now you outflank the defense right away. And when you outflank the defense, there's nothing but green grass for Cam Pickett to get into the end zone. Outstanding design and a nice job of showing multiple formations by offensive coordinator Jim Zabrowski.
9 plays, 86 yards, and pretty quick. 3:49 off the clock before the Pickett touchdown. Then Lappin will kick it away. Number 2, that is Rayshon Luke. And you talk about speed, he's got it. Ran a 10.2940 at one time back at Arizona before transferring over. Jordan Malawalu is also back there with him. And that one will go through for a touchback. So on trots E.J. Warner, who did a very nice job at Rice before transferring over. Temple prior to that. Understands the game. That's his strength. Wants to stay in the pocket and get rid of the ball.
Yeah, Tim, and he comes into college football this season as a leading passer in yards per game, right? That's an outstanding job. Obviously, he's played a long time, but you can see that he's got a lot of wisdom, and they hope that that helps them in the game today.
Well, his dad, Kurt, is really proud of him. Says he's better at this stage of his career than he was as a collegiate. And they go off of the quick play fake with a little curl out to Josiah Freeman, who is the receiver they are hoping can make some big plays for them this year. He was the leading California State receiver in yards per game before coming over.
You see the Josh Davis, and you see the line at the bottom of the screen there. He said he's one of the most talented wide receivers he's ever been around, and that's saying a lot because he's been around a lot of really talented guys, and he's a wide receiver himself.
You see all of those receivers, and they've got some good ones to choose from. And here's Bryson Donaldson ahead to the 29-yard line. Eric Rawls, number 2, the safety, strong safety, coming up. Quick identification on that running play by this Kansas defense. 4-man front. Leroy Harris is a guy to keep your eye on, number 33. He's going to be tested early, and he's in for an outstanding star, Dean Miller, who can't go today. The rest of that Jayhawks defense, Austin Alexander, also a young guy in that secondary. This is a defense that gave up a lot of yards passing a year ago.
There's Josiah Freeman.
Warner's in trouble, shovels it out. Nice ad-lib to Donaldson. And Bryson Donaldson sets sail down the sidelines for a big first down. Shoved out by Trey Latham. What a magnificent move at the 11th hour by E.J. Warner.
That's an outstanding play there by E.J. Warner of ad-libbing. Something he doesn't always do, but you can see it's great coverage in the back end. He wanted to get to Josiah Freeman, can't do it, but you have to find a way, and he does it with a little flip of the right, and Donaldson does the rest.
Donaldson remains the setback on first down. That play went for 39 yards. Go to the tight end, Brock Liam. And Liam navigates his way inside the 25, near the 24. Taylor Davis, the free safety, redshirt sophomore out of Missouri City, Texas, with the stop, a gain of 9.
One thing you want to see from the Kansas defense is the ability to make tackles. When you have the opportunity, you got to get guys to the ground. We saw one on the first play where Bengali Kamara didn't make the tackle in the backfield, so it sets up a reasonable down and distance, and they are able to create that explosive play. And then you see another missed tackle there come in a little bit too high.
Liam hobbled off after that tackle down below the knee. Brandon Ramirez, who beat out Elijah Gilliam, is in the backfield now. And there he goes. And this kid's been really impressing coaches of late. He takes it down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line before he's spilled by the redshirt freshman Austin Alexander out of Marion Catholic High, Hazel Crest, Illinois. So the ball rests at the 16-yard line, and well, we've seen both the best of each quarterback so far. Looks like they're going gun. Is that Rayshawn, the dynamic Luke, in the backfield? Yes. Speedy Luke. Play fake to him. He was a decoy. It's Ramirez, and he's inside the 5. Boy, what a well-designed play, partner. That was fantastic. They were reading number 2. Rawls saves the touchdown going out of bounds.
Yeah, they do a nice job there. It's man-to-man coverage, right? So when you go with this run fake, that's the beauty of the RPO. You can see everybody has their face inside after some nice run plays, and then you just flip it outside to the running back, Ramirez, who's done a nice job of earning play time, and he makes good of it on that play.
And the man that he beat out, Gilliam, is now checked in for him. He's in the pistol right behind Warner, and he'll tote it. Nice cutback. He's in there. It's touchdown. Both offenses show their wares here at the outset. Gilliam, the senior from Merced, California, takes it in. He led the Bulldogs in rushing 7 times last year, which ought to tell you something about how well Ramirez has looked in fall practice.
Take a nice job. Take a look right here, Tim. Number 87. Jake Tarwater just completely ejects the player out of the play and into the end zone, which means his running back can get in there fairly easy. Outstanding job by the tight end, Jake Tarwater.
Dylan Lynch for the extra point. And we got a marker down prior to the snap. Our referee today is Nolan Dumas. Our replay official, Mark Evans.
Offside, number 15, defense in the neutral zone causing an offensive reaction. Penalties half the distance to the goal. We'll play the try.
Justice Finkley getting through there a little too quickly. Well, Gilliam, as I mentioned, is a big-time running back from a statistical standpoint of a year ago. He had 120 yards on 20 carries against Washington State.
And they said they're going to go 5 deep at the running back position. We've already seen 4 of them, you know what I mean? So they meant what they said, and they are using all their weapons right now.
Kansas was a preseason top 25 team a year ago. They're trying to answer their early season critics today, but Fresno's no slouch to winning titles out west. We're tied at 7. Nothing stops Devin Gardner. He's always got the opportunity to dial in what the tape says, right? My partner that always lifts.
When you watch tape, right, you watch a lot of tape, it tells you something, right? And after this kick, we're going to talk about what the tape said about Jalen Davis.
Yeah.
Jalen Daniels.
Emmanuel Henderson is back deep, along with Keaton Kubeka. Hey, it's game 1. It's game 1 and it's week 0, pal. Now, tell me what the tape says.
Yeah, it says a lot of things, but there are some clear points that I was able to see, and it is a special quarterback that you're getting a chance to witness today. Firstly, he's a dynamic playmaker. We saw it on that first drive. He does all the things you want to see. And in the read option game, he has a great feel when you throw it, when you run it, whatever you want to do. And then his arm talent. I don't think that he's appreciated around the country enough with the type of throws he's able to make from any platform. Outstanding, and he's putting it on display here early.
Yeah, you made the point to me as we were preparing for the game. No one runs to his left and throws it better from the right arm in college football, maybe ever, than this kid. There's Highshaw forging ahead with a late flag coming down.
You're going to get a face mask, a quick grab of the face mask.
By Owusu, number 8, Martin Owusu, defensive tackle, it appeared heading by the cages. So we'll hear from Nolan Dumas, our referee.
Personal foul, face mask, number 8, defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, an automatic first down.
Eyes Bender was all over that one for us. As you look at Matt Entz, talk about bringing some toughness back to the Fresno State program. And he said, you know what? People can say what they want about the Mountain West this year and about the Pac-12 next year. We control the Central Valley of California. There it is.
You can see it right in the middle of your screen there. You can see the window dressing. This is still the opening plays for Jalen Daniels and offensive coordinator Jim Zabrowski. A lot of movement pre-snap, and Jalen Daniels also has the ability to change plays and get into good plays like he just does now.
Quick pitch to Highshaw, going to the wide side of the field. Dragged down at the 47-yard line, gain of 3.
Daniel Highshaw is a guy that I've been really interested to see how explosive he's going to be able to be. The first time he's the lead back, and he's dealt with injury throughout the years, but he's one of my favorite players in college football because he's a throwback player. He's a guy that's been here, he came here, he stayed here, and he continues to push, even with Devin Neal a season ago, getting the bulk of the carries.
Yeah, he had 17 touchdowns, did Neal. 16 of them were rushing touchdowns. Highshaw trying to fill the void. Blitz coming off the corner. Daniels, look at him. Look at that pass. This time rolling left again. Throwing over the shoulder, gets the job done as Cam Pickett, who had the touchdown, has a first down after a gain of 15.
He's just so difficult to deal with. He has him dead to rights, but he doesn't panic. He moves into the pocket and then back out and makes a nice throw on the run to the right.
Quick pitch this time towards the boundary, and a late flag comes in just as Highshaw is knocked to the ground at the 35-yard line.
And Tim, we talked about his ability to run left and throw, but the run right is obvious, right?
Yeah, that one was easy.
Oh, yeah.
Holding, number 77, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Well, the fans with a light course of boos as Enrique Cruz is called for the holding penalty. They'll back him up 10 to the 48-yard line.
A lot of times on those outside zone pitch plays, the tackle has to do a nice job with his footwork because if he doesn't, the defensive lineman gets outside of him and he starts to grab and hold.
Carson Bruin checked in, number 44, as we mentioned. Multiple tight ends. They'll go 4 deep at that spot, and he is an outstanding pass receiver at the tight end spot. And it's Williams now in the backfield. And we've got another marker down. Fresno State also moves a lot pre-snap from a defensive standpoint.
Prior to the snap, ball start, number 77, offense.
I think maybe that time some of that pre-snap movement got Enrique off the schneid, and he gets the daily double of penalties here.
Tim, I just talked about it, and it looked like they were going to an outside type of play again. And when you're on that outside play, you got to get your feet moving, right? So he starts to move just a little bit too soon and draws another penalty.
Down and distance can play a role from time to time, and those top 40 plays that Zabrowski wants to call. Little reverse action to Emmanuel Henderson. He is a road runner. Beat, get out of his way. Jaden Davis, free safety, comes up to make the tackle. The junior homespun star out of Fresno, California.
You saw the speed on full display there from the Alabama transfer, Emmanuel Henderson Jr.
That'll get your attention when you're the opposing cornerback. Looking down the sideline. Whole lot of jersey that time. Being held by Jakari Embry against Emmanuel Henderson. Rather get the penalty than give up the touchdown. He had all of that number one.
Defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, an automatic first down.
What you've seen from Fresno State a bunch is man-to-man coverage, right? And if you're going to play man-to-man coverage, you got Embry out there on an island with the fastest player possibly on the football field. And he starts to get out, and then he just grabs the jersey. But in all honesty, Tim, I don't think he had to do it. He was in good phase. He doesn't need to pull and grab, but it draws a 15-yard penalty.
Kubeka goes split wide to the bottom of your screen. Out of the shotgun, here goes Jaylen Daniels. Stopped at the 20. Jaden Davis with the stop. Finn Claypool also collaborating. Young man that came in from Drake as a transfer out of Des Moines, Iowa.
Kansas fans, because their quarterback has had some injury, they probably don't want to see him do this, right? Lower that shoulder and run through a guy. But how about your teammates? Your teammates love to see you run through an opposing defender as the quarterback, but he has to make sure that he stays safe so he can stay healthy throughout the season.
You think? They really need him to stay healthy. That's been an issue. And when you run this kind of offense, it always is. Highshaw. What a spin, baby spin. And he's got a first down inside the 15 to the 14 with a marker down.
They're going to get, they threw it in the direction of number 77, the right tackle again, Enrique Cruz Jr.
Holding, number 70, offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay second down.
Well, they got the guy next to him.
Yeah, and they were in a double team, right? They were in a double team situation, so you wonder why are you guys holding them if you're double teaming him.
No question.
Yeah, just throws him to the ground there, right in the middle.
That was a takedown. We'll back him up to the 32, second, and a baker's dozen. Out of the gun again. Quarterback power. Daniels gets a good bit of that back inside the 25 and 23, gain of 7. Owusu with the stop. That makes the third down situation a little better.
Again, Jaylen Daniels, very dangerous. There's no chance that play should work, right? You got a free runner right at you, but he just moves his body just a bit to the left so he can get through and create a more manageable third down.
Third down and 6. Wonderful article in The Athletic this week by our friend and colleague Bruce Feldman, whom you'll see at halftime with the Sarge, about the Jaylen Daniels family life. He is quite a story. Tremendous young man. On third down, Highshaw. Looks like he might be about a yard to a half yard shy. Cameron Braca, number 22, with the stop.
Yeah, it's a nice job of the offensive line getting real movement and creating an opportunity. And when you have such a dynamic quarterback, you have that option. Going fourth and short, it's not often that you're just going to sit in the kicking unit. At least going to think about it. And a lot of times you're going to weigh on the side of let's go for it, especially with Highshaw as well, a strong runner.
Last year, Kansas was 67% in conversions on fourth down. Remember, this is a team that beat top 25 teams in succession 3 times in the Big 12. Williams, Leishon, gone, touchdown.
Touchdown, Kansas. Number 4.
Tim, That's about as easy as it gets. You make sure you kick out here on the outside, and after that, there's no one for Lee Sean Williams. Outstanding job by number 87, Leighton Cure, of curing an opportunity for the running back to get to the end zone.
Well, he was a 2023 All-Big honorable mention at Iowa. Shades of that past coming to fruition there. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. Partner, we're out to a pretty good start here in Lawrence, Kansas.
Not bad.
The moment it was announced, everyone had this matchup circled. The Arch Manning era kicks off with a playoff rematch for the ages. #1 Texas and the defending national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. It's Big Noon. Coverage begins with Big Noon kickoff live from Columbus. Rob Stone and his ensemble, 9 a.m. Eastern next Saturday on Fox.
Now, Tim, that game comes on Fox, and then what's next? I was wondering.
Oh, we would be in Ames, Iowa next.
The old Timmy B. and Devin, huh?
Yeah, and I believe that would be a team coming off of a victory today in Dublin, Ireland.
They did. That's good.
Very entertaining game. Won by Iowa State over rival K-State. Farmageddon with a little bit of an Irish twist. And, yeah, we look forward to getting back to Ames after that matchup with Gus and Joel. 14-7 our score. We'll be right back. The brothers Carr, a part of the history of Fresno State, and Jay Kaner. Last time I had a Fresno State game, it was for the Mountain West Championship in Boise, Idaho, of all places. Kaner and company got the championship that year. Now on the Saints roster during preseason. Let's see if E.J. Warner can answer the bell as they did on the opening drive for the Bulldogs. Donaldson in trouble. Great penetration by the right side. Keenan Caldwell. This is a young man that had been in the middle of the defense early. Now the youngster, now a redshirt senior out of Oak Grove, Louisiana, made a play.
There he is right there over number 54, where he cuts across his face and he gets to the running back before he can even get to the line of scrimmage. He's a guy that's really learned to buy in, but it happened a little late, right? He was a little hesitant to buy into the culture, but he has now, and you can see he's making plays.
Originally brought in by Les Miles when he was coaching. And again, he's involved. Caldwell again. Those are 2 just tremendous plays where the quickness of those feet are evidenced.
And not only the feet, take a look at the hands. Look at the hands. Let's see if we can get him this time. There he is right there. Look at the hands. Violent hands. And then he gets to the running back. Doesn't quite finish the play, but there's no chance for the running back to make a play afterward.
Well, he was more comfortable really at the nose. That's what he used to play.
He loves that zero nose, his ability to put his hands on the center and then make plays off of it.
I think that was why the buy-in was a little late. When Lance got here, they decided to make a defensive end out of it. 3rd down and 10. Out of the shotgun. Warner with pressure up the middle. This one is caught at the 42. Ezekiel Levitt. He stood in there and took it just like his old man did when he was running the greatest show on turf with the St. Louis Rams. That was a big hit he absorbed before making that pass to Levitt.
That's a really nice job. He's going to get down the field and into the middle of the defense. Now, what you see from the quarterback, E.J. Warner, is an ability not to be able to climb into the pocket because they collapsed it. He's falling back. That is a difficult throw to make. Hit low and still makes the play. An outstanding pickup for Fresno State.
Rayshawn Luke is the very deep back. And under center goes Warner. Luke set him up almost in a pistol look. Only a couple of yards. They wanted to give him as big of a head start as they could to the line of scrimmage. He does claim 2 yards on the play.
For Fresno State, when we talked to offensive coordinator Josh Davis, he said he wanted to be 60-40 run and pass. Well, the way that Kansas is playing defense, they've got everybody in the box. I don't think they're going to be able to 60-40. They got to throw that football down the field, and we're going to go here in the second quarter and see if E.J. Warner can continue to drive down the field and put more points on the board.
Only 1 quarter down so far. So fantastic. Let's take a look at today's game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Well, beep, beep. Right? So far, the Roadrunner is taking care of the Wile E. Coyote. Warner's perfect, 81 yards, some of them ad libs. Jaylen Daniels has been as dynamic as advertised with 112 total yards to lead the Jayhawks. Bryson Donaldson is in the backfield as we begin play in the second quarter. A little reverse action coming to Farrar. Another quick guy, number 11, Javon Farrar, junior from Long Branch, New Jersey, by way of Ventura Junior College. Stopped by Austin Alexander, who managed to stay home.
This is so encouraging to see Keenan Caldwell, his ability to play inside and then work outside and push this ball. Watch him here. Right, first he has to defeat the block. He defeats the block, and then he starts to go chase a reverse. How many times do you see a nose guard or a three technique chase down a reverse to make sure that his cavalry can come and help him out?
Right now, he's the defensive player of the game.
Is he not? My goodness.
Third down 9. So far, Warner has converted when necessary. Quick play fake. Under some pressure, got to get rid of it. He's flushed and just gets rid of it. He's outside the tackle box, so should be okay, but there was really nowhere to go that time. So for the first time, I get to say punt formation, and it happens in the second quarter.
Yeah, Tim, that was an outstanding job by Kansas in the secondary. Watch, you can see Freeman, who wants to get open, but he's running into coverage. Two guys, right? Two guys chasing every single person. Maybe had a chance at the deep post, but that's not the kind of player that E.J. Warner is. He tries to create. There's nowhere for him to go with the football, and then he does the smart thing, the thing that is his superpower, his brain. He gets outside and throws that football away.
Deep for Kansas is Tate Nagy. That name sounds familiar. It should, right, partner?
Oh, absolutely. He has a relatively famous father that works with a relatively decent quarterback in Kansas City.
Yeah, that Mahomes kid, right?
Oh, yeah.
This Memorial Stadium here with Kansas Athletic Director Travis Goff. And look, there's been a lot of meetings and a lot of prep, a lot of work went into getting this done, the transformation of the stadium. What does it feel like to unveil this tonight?
It feels good. I'm just so happy to see our deserving fans taking this in, experiencing it, bringing this energy. Our team deserves it. Kansas football is here to stay, so we're really excited about it.
Well, how about phase 2, man? I know we're not done with what you guys have going on, so what can we expect in the future?
Yeah, the objective is demo that east side as soon as the season's over. Get construction going 2026, play through a little construction next year, and be finished in 27. Get this thing 360 degrees completed.
Well, congratulations, man. It looks incredible, and we're having a great game out here. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Josh, appreciate you, man. Rock chalk.
Timmy B.
As great as the game has been, I'd say the real winner are the fans here in Lawrence, Kansas. They've been anticipating this for so long. I had to play in Kansas City last year at a soccer stadium and also Arrowhead from time to time. It's difficult in college football today when your home games are not on your campus. And Travis Goff, who tutored under Jim Phillips at Northwestern as an associate AD, has done a magnificent job in fundraising. And David Booth getting the lion's share of it for this stadium opening today. That pass down the sidelines, incomplete. We've got a marker down, thrown where the pass was intended for Levi Wentz. Azilian Hamilton, the outstanding corner, was defending. Let's see.
Yeah, this is the second time where he might have gotten just a little too handsy. Last time it was his running buddy, Jakari Embry.
Interference, number 3, defense.
Yep.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot, and automatic first down.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure when you're playing man-to-man coverage. He's in phase, so there's no real reason to do that. But watch out, coach. Oh, no. Down goes Frazier. You got to have your head on the swivel, Tim. Good thing we're up here because, I don't know, Tim, but you would have been able to get out of the way, yeah?
Head on a swivel, that's what my agent tells me all the time. LaShawn Williams is the setback with the ball at the 37 after the penalty. Option towards the short side of the field. Daniels just decides to cradle it, take the loss. Jaden Pearson read it well. Weak side linebacker, senior out of Gilbert, Arizona. A loss of 2 on the play.
It's a really nice job of Jaden Pearson just getting over the top. The offensive lineman can't even get to him. He sifts through and he finds his way to Daniels. And a nice job of Daniels not making a bad play worse. Not trying to pitch that ball when he knows that the play is dead. Sometimes the defense wins and Pearson loves it.
Well, we're at the time of the game now when we get into the second quarter, Devin, and that top 40 plays, now you're getting into the 20s now. Let's see how they handle this down and distance situation on 2nd and 12. Pressure up the gut, inside to Henderson. That thing looked like it might go places, but it was well read by the linebacking core. Pearson again makes the play. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Yeah, it had a real chance, but number 70 in blue, Kobe Baines, he gets stuck, he gets hung up, he starts to fall, and so he bumps into Henderson as he's trying to catch the ball, so he can't get his feet settled and get down the field.
Friendly fire, the only way to slow him down.
Absolutely.
3rd down and 11 coming up. Wentz remains in the game and goes split wide.
You got close to what it looks like zero coverage. They're not afraid to run zero coverage and bring pressure. So Jaylen Daniels needs to be aware of that. There goes.
Oh, nice pirouette by Daniels. Now he's in some trouble, but escapes again and is thrown to the ground back at the 27-yard line. Finn Claypool was in hot pursuit and drug him down. A unanimous All-Pioneer League player back in 24. We mentioned the Pioneer League. Some of these guys that move up in the portal from that level can still play this game. And speed and quickness at defensive end really matters in today's game.
Yeah, and that's a really nice job by Finn Claypool of continuing to chase, right? Because he doesn't get him the first time, but after he misses, he continues to have relentless pursuit. Defensive coordinators always talk about relentless pursuit. He continues to pursue,
Fresno State,
and he makes the play.
Fresno State takes a timeout with 4th down and 18 coming up. Now, the second quarter, things have settled down a little for the two defenses who look to be shaping up for a track meet early. This was one of those places where you worry about the health of your quarterback.
Yeah, and you can see him kind of say, with his mouth, and you want to put yourself in a better position if you're Jaylen Daniels, but he's had such great success and he's so dynamic. That's the line that you want to toe. When we talked to offensive coordinator Jim Zabrowski, he said, listen, once you toe the line and you get to it, you become a great player. But when you start to cross the line, now you're not very smart, right? And so for Jaylen Daniels, it's that in between. Do you get past the line or do you toe the line? And it looks like to this point in this game, he's toed the line, and that's exactly where you want him to be.
Mala'ulu is back deep. First punt for Lappin. High end over end, and Jordan Mala'ulu dropped the football. That's live, and it is recovered by Fresno State after a 49-yard boot. That's Simeon Harris, the nickel back on defense. The dueling number 5s, Josiah Freeman is the other, and it's taken a while for him to get up.
Yeah, to me, Tim, that looks like kick-catch interference. They didn't call it there, but
yeah,
lucky for Fresno State, they get back on top of it and on offense when we come back. Yeah, and it's an outstanding job. The officials on that previous play, on that punt return, they saw that Jalen Todd was pushed into the runner, and that's why they didn't throw the flag. I'm just telling you, you can't quantify how impressive that is to see that in real time, because it's not a bunch.
No.
And understand to keep the flag in your pocket because he was pushed. An outstanding job by the officials.
Something that is not always picked up by the officiating.
You usually have to throw the flag and then talk about it. You know, maybe another guy saw it better.
That's Donaldson forging ahead on first down. I tell you, so far, I'm impressed with the way E.J. Warner has handled this offense.
Yeah.
Clearly, he doesn't have some of the same dynamic options that Daniels does for Kansas, but when he's been in a position where he needed to make a play, he has.
Yep. And for E.J. Warner, they're going to have to rely on him to drive the ball down the field in the passing game, because Kansas has a number of guys at the line of scrimmage, right? 7 guys in the box with the safeties extremely low as well, and that's why they get to this runner so quickly.
Oh, big time. How about that? Crashing through Bengali Kamara. This is the freshman out of Akron, Ohio. Was at South Carolina briefly in 24 and transferred over.
Yes, we saw him miss an opportunity early in the game, but this time he flies through untouched and makes that play.
So another 3rd and long for Warner to navigate. This is a completely different atmosphere, is it not, from what we're accustomed to in Lawrence, Kansas? How proud the staff and the administration here of Kansas should be. Warner over the middle, incomplete. Josiah Freeman, the intended receiver. It was in dangerous territory, but the pass itself wasn't bad. It was knocked away, tipped by Jaleel Hurley, number 6.
And you can look at Warner's eyes. He's doing a nice job to this point in the game of finding his targets without having them going from left to right and left to right. But that time, just an inaccurate pass that even actually hits the defender in the head.
It does. It hit Hurley. At first glance, it appeared to be tipped, but it was tipped by his helmet. Nick Verdugo. Fair catch called by Nagy at his own 42-yard line, a 36-yard boot.
Tim, I can't tell you enough how impressive it is that a true freshman, they're trusting a true freshman to return these punts. And Tim, this was almost blocked in, not quite.
No pa-poom. Gorgeous day. And how magnificent is it to have college football back? LaShawn Williams is in the backfield, number 4. Has a touchdown already in today's game. He and Highshaw now flank Jaylen Daniels. Uh-oh, they set this one up, didn't they? A little wheel route action by LaShawn Williams. After play action to both he and Highshaw, Pearson knocks him out after a 17-yard gain.
This is an outstanding play design. Give it to the guy you fake it to. You're going to see a fake outside zone there, and then that's the guy that's going to get the ball. Williams does an outstanding job of kind of hiding himself, and then Daniels goes back, and he's wide open. A great play design by offensive coordinator Jim Zabrowski. And I'm just telling you, Tim, he's expanded the opening plays that you usually see on an offense, and they're still in those, and you can see the comfort from Jaylen Daniels.
No doubt about it. That's the tight end, Brune, in motion. Daniels again with rollout action. Steps up and lets it fly. It's caught. It's first down at the 30. Cam Pickett. It's a 13-yard gain. Let's go down to Josh. He's looking good right now with these receivers, isn't he?
Well, that's right. And when
we'll get back down to Josh as they go quickly here. Highshaw ahead. Let's go down to Josh now.
Well, guys, when Jaylen Daniels saw he had no returning starters at wide receiver, he knew he had to do something to build the chemistry and build it fast. So he invited those receivers out to L.A. over 4th of July weekend to work with him. Said the most important thing about that trip was trust, and we're seeing that out there tonight, guys.
No doubt about it. Little flare out to Pickett again. Woo, a little high hurdle action that time to get it inside the 15. They'll mark it just shy of the 13-yard line, a gain of 10.
They're going fast, but Tim, I remember being at practice a couple weeks ago and seeing them work on that drill, and those receivers were blocking with great intensity. You saw it there with a nice pickup.
Look at Pickett again. Touchdown. Number 2 for number 7 today. Marker down late.
Player downfield, the ball was first touch behind the line of scrimmage. It's a touchdown.
They're picking it up. They were concerned about a player downfield, but the referee took a look and said, pick up the little yellow hanky.
We saw this touchdown earlier, and take a look at the defense. Their eyes are in the backfield on Highshaw, the runner, and because that ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage, the RPO and the blocking downfield, it does not matter. An outstanding design, again, where you make sure that the ball is caught behind the line of scrimmage, the little details, and it creates a touchdown.
Redshirt senior Laith Marjan with the extra point. 5 receptions now for 72 yards for Pickett and 2 touchdowns. We'll be back at 30. (21-7) our score, which makes this upcoming drive for Fresno State awfully important to maintain contact against what has been a very explosive Kansas offense to start the evening. And the sun will be setting in the 3rd. Fresno State wants to be involved in it, and that means controlling the football, moving the chains, and keeping Jaylen Daniels and this crew off the field as much as they can, because they can score in a hurry. Malaulu and Rayshawn Luke are back deep. So again, Warner, who's played very well, acquitted himself very well. They need to do something big on this drive. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Take a look at the eyes of the defense. The eyes are in the backfield, and take a look also here, right? They can block downfield because that ball is caught behind the line of scrimmage. The details of the play are so important because if he catches that ball 1 yard down the field, that blocking downfield is offensive pass interference, and it's a penalty. The comfort of Jaylen Daniels is so impressive to watch here early in this game. And if he can continue to play this way as they get outside those opening plays, it's going to prove really good for this Kansas Jayhawk football team.
Split backs with 3 wides for Warner on first down. Again, the quickness to the ball. We've been calling the name of Keenan Caldwell a lot. Some help inside that time. Yet again, Bray making the play.
Well, Tim, it felt like inside, but he's actually the left defensive end. Take a look right here. He crosses the face and gets to the outside zone on the right side of the formation. Outstanding job by number 91 in blue, Alex Bray.
Gotta like the depth that we're seeing utilized defensively by Kansas. Caldwell back in the game. The late blitz comes and the pass is caught. And it is a beauty to Josiah Freeman. That's the guy they want to get loose. He is the speed merchant and a guy that always gets open.
Yeah, Tim, you talk about talent and arm talent and strength and all these different things. However, what about the toughness of the quarterback? He stands in there, waits, and makes sure he makes that throw to an easy open target in Freeman. But when you're the quarterback, your teammates love to see you take that shot, get down on the ground, and then get back up, dust yourself off, and move on to the next play.
Shades of Kurt Warner.
Yep.
I mean, really, whether in arena ball or in a Rams uniform winning a Super Bowl or with the Cardinals playing in another. Donaldson gets it up to midfield for Fresno State. Warner's now 6 of 8 for 102 yards.
And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get poise. You're going to get the ability to take completions. But the one thing I've seen that's really impressive is he's moved away from going to the back so quickly. He stood in there and taking hits and making sure he drives the ball down the field. I said that they're going to need to lean on him because the number of players in the box doesn't allow Fresno State to get into that running game the way they want to.
Josh Davis, the offensive coordinator, said just being around Warner, I've learned a lot about football. And Davis, who is a mad scientist of play calling starting at the NAIA level, doesn't hurt to have this guy as your father. Kurt Warner, 2017 Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee. Of course, the mom, Brenda Warner, who meant so much to the emergence of Kurt. And as I said earlier, he said that at this stage of his son's career, he knows that he's better than he was as a collegiate. 2 for 4 on third down conversions. Ramirez and Gilliam in the backfield. Third and a long one. Marker down late.
Yeah, false start. The whole left side of the offensive line. Really, it's the left tackle, the true freshman, Braden Walton, tries to get ahead of the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 76, offense.
Well, this is a young man that's getting an indoctrination having to deal with the likes of Keenan Caldwell today as a freshman out of nearby Clovis, California.
And sometimes when guys move at the same time, you just hope the referee calls the other guy, right? Because Richie Anderson III also moves prematurely there.
Clovis is basically like saying you're from Fresno. Anybody in that part of the state of California knows it. Third down and 6. Extra tight end in.
Take a look at the rusher at the top.
Warner. He can be resourceful. Now he's running out of time and throws it away, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kansas. Devin Dye with the interception. Well, that's the first time he tried to do a little too much.
And Tim, when you watch the film, E.J. Warner, over the years, he hasn't had great success rolling left and making these off-schedule plays. He rolls left, tries to make it, and Devin Dodge does a nice job of staying in phase, right? Staying in phase with the wide receiver, and it's a gift. He jumps up, makes that play, and who says defensive backs can't catch?
Yeah, he had hands of Velcro on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Full extension. Well, Daniels has been almost flawless. 10 of 11, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 rushes for 39. That's his game. Uh-oh, the ball hit the motion man. Emilian, number 5, great presence of mind to get on top of it. He felt it, so he knew where it bounced, and it was a fortuitous bounce indeed.
Yeah, as he's getting into his yo-yo motion, right? And they call it yo-yo because you go down, and you come back, you go the one way, you come back the other way. He yo-yos right back into the football there.
I didn't think that you were old enough to even know what a yo-yo was.
I'm actually really nice for the yo-yo. I'm just telling you. The London Bridge,
good
a little
hands.
walking of the dog.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Wow, I learned something new about you every day. 2nd and 8. Look out. Daniels rolling right. There's his receiver. The angular Levi Hanukkah, the tight end. 18. Both he and Wentz have great length. And that tight end Hanukkah is a young man we had a chance to chat with. It means a lot to him after blowing out his Achilles to be healthy and ready to go. He's married, expecting a firstborn, his wife Kate. They are some happy to be back here out of nearby Topeka, Kansas.
And you can tell when Daniel starts to move, they're on the same page. All the wide receivers, pass catchers, and himself. And it goes back to what Josh Sims, our great partner, said. He took them to California, and they got some work, and everybody's on the same page.
Daniels gets it out to the 48-yard line. A little jousting going on between Pearson and Levi Wentz. A little back and forth, probably some verbiage shared. 2nd down coming up. That's a proud Fresno State program. Yes, it's new in many ways. Had a chance to visit with Pat Hill, the legendary coach who's a part of their radio broadcast team beforehand, and the toughness that he brought to the program that Fresno State had become is something that they are looking forward to having under Matt Entz. Out of the gun, quick look in. Levi Wentz, the aforementioned angular one, inside the 40 to the 37, another first down.
Yeah, Levi Wentz is a big, strong wide receiver, and he's a guy that Kansas fans, he's going to remind you a little bit of Lawrence Arnold, what he was able to do for this football team. This is what the coaching staff told us. He has great hands, great size, and the ability to run those timing patterns, and Jaylen Daniels hits it right on his face mask.
Well, we've reached 2-minute time here in the first half. I really prefer that verbiage. I'm not so sure about week 0. Maybe we need to work on that. But timeout is much better than warning, don't you think?
Yeah, I like it.
It's more pleasant,
Yeah.
more upbeat, more uplifting.
Yeah, keeps you easy.
Tara Sims, happy to have you with us. This is a huge defensive sequence for coordinator Nick Benedetto. I don't know about you, partner, but I was impressed with him. He made his name at Northern Illinois, authoring that defense that provided the big upset of Notre Dame. And now, this young man that was playing for Kalen DeBoer at Sioux Falls back in the day between 05 and 09 has become an outstanding coordinator. Jaylen Daniels snuffed out that time by the Fresno State defense. He's really hoping that his defense can get a stop here to keep this at 2 touchdowns at the intermission. Talked to us a lot, Devin, about Tampa 2, the things that he can do, but you made a point that I thought was outstanding. If you're with a program for 2 years, 3 years, as he was with Northern Illinois, it's a little different in year 1.
Yeah, when you watch the film for Northern Illinois in 2024, there are a lot more multiple, and you can see today this defense is a lot closer to 2022 NIU, where it's just not as multiple, and it's fairly easy for Jaylen Daniels to understand and see what's happening.
Daniels looping it, incomplete for Henderson. Henderson was looking inside. The pass went a little outside, but that one had a chance.
That's a well-timed call by Jim Zabrowski. It's 0 coverage, but you have the perfect call, a slot fade. And if you're Jaylen Daniels, you probably want to back out a little bit and give that ball nice air so your receiver can run underneath it, because you're going to get hit on this play. And this time they got 2 guys in on them. Too many rushers, not enough blockers, but that play can be successful.
Davis and Kavion Thunderbird were both covering over there, it had a chance. Only the second incompleted forward pass by Daniels in the first half. 3rd and 7. Blitz up the gut. It's caught. At the 30-yard line, spun down Cam Pickett. And Daniels slowly rises.
Tim, I'm just telling you, this is why his teammates love him.
Yeah.
He stood in there, looked right down the barrel, and drove this ball on the outside. Take a look at him, stand in the pocket, understanding he's gonna get hit. Boom! Gets hit, and the ball's perfectly outside. A nice catch by his favorite target, Cam Pickett.
That was a pretty good Madden boom you threw on there.
Oh my goodness, nice shot.
Magnificent.
Look at him, you want to check just in case, make sure the ball's complete.
So it is 4th down. They're 1 for 1 today on them. In fact, the one that they called on 4th down turned into a touchdown for Le'Jon Williams, you might recall, and a timeout coming. Sarge is a busy guy, and not just when he's at comedy clubs in Los Angeles. Here he is in the studio with what's coming up on the State Farm halftime show.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, we've got highlights from the early top 25 thriller in Dublin between Iowa State and Kansas State, plus Hawaii hosts Stanford. And we'll preview next weekend's massive showdown between #1 Texas and #3 Ohio State. Tim and Devin, college football is back, and I am so excited.
He's doing sit-down today. He does some stand-up in Los Angeles.
You know, because he wants to show off his entire outfit. You know, the shoes are usually good, you
repertoire.
know. Yep.
Got the full repertoire working.
Yep. They've decided to kick a field goal here, Tim.
Yep. Laith Marjan. He's going to tee it up at about the 37, so this will be a 47-yard boot. 16 of 17 a year ago. His longest was 49, so this is 2 yards inside his longest. Oh, just snuck it in with a slight draw. There was early concern about the iron being unkind, but he got it in there and snuck it in.
We're here for our convertible.
How about an SUV?
Want to get out of here?
Hier ist das Schiebedach.
Und hier ist die Sonnencreme.
Okay, let's move on.
Where are those trucks?
We're right here.
Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Yep, still here.
Going to be a very interesting 56 seconds, and I'm going to propose to you, partner, that touchback or no touchback, this is going to be important to see how much confidence there is in E.J. Warner after throwing his first pick, seeing this score now balloon to 17.
Yeah, and that last drive, I feel like that's a win for Fresno State. Nick Benedetto and his defense, because you could have easily given up 7 points, right?
Absolutely.
And so they hold them to 3,
Yep.
and that eases the pain. And I don't think you try too much here on this drive for Fresno State.
Daniels knew they might blitz. He was aware of it and conditioned to take those blows, which he did. And we've got a touchback. Well, 2 races to go. Newly crowned 4-time champion Alex Palou continues his quest for a record 10-win season and the most dominant run in IndyCar history at the Milwaukee Mile tomorrow at 2 Eastern, only on Fox.
Tim, I must say, it's a nice job saying Palou there. It's very good.
I worked on it.
It's a nice name.
They're a new partner.
It can
to
be
Fox.
tricky.
Yeah, absolutely it can.
Yeah.
Arsenault is now in the backfield. They go to the big tight end on a quick out pattern. That's Richie Anderson. Negligible gain of 2.
Yeah, and even though they're moving quickly, you imagine to continue to be passive as they attack, because you don't want to make a bad play. Uh-oh.
Have a moment like that where the ball is tipped into the air.
Yeah.
Anderson could not reel that one in, and it's 3rd down and 8.
So now this is difficult, because with 2 timeouts left for Kansas, now they can get the ball back and try to put more points on the board. And Fresno State has done a nice job of moving the football, but they get into these situations that are 3rd and 7+. They've been in a number of them, and they can't have success because now you allow Kansas to put pressure on you, and your offensive line is just not holding up strong enough for E.J. Warner to get the ball downfield.
They knew they needed to be good on first down, and they've got one now. After that completion to the 41, Ezekiel Avit made a big catch earlier, you might recall, en route to a Fresno State touchdown. 24-7 our score. Warner threads it, incomplete. Underneath for Jordan Brown. It's a young man that's got a lot of savvy and route running capability, senior from Bellflower, California.
Tim, and you can see right now the conversation on the sideline and the ability to look at the iPad. They recognize, hey, you're getting under pressure too quickly, and because of that pressure, you're starting to try to create, and that's not your game. You throw an interception. Let's try to get this ball out a lot quicker and understand what they're doing pre-snap.
2nd and 10. Jonathan Arsenault remains the setback out of the shotgun. Warner again over the middle, and it's incomplete. Malulu was the intended receiver. And yet again, a 3rd down and 10 coming up. I like the confidence, though, that they're showing in E.J. Warner after that interception. Just looking for something positive to happen with their offense. And this is a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah, and Tim, this is the 7th time they're in 3rd and 7+, right? 3rd and long. The 7th time. You just cannot make a living doing that against a talented defense like Kansas.
19 ticks left in the half. Warner under duress. And a little comebacker. It's going to be shy of the first down. Cameron Beecham with the reception, but they do get it to the 48-yard line, which enables them to go for it on 4th down.
A 4th down with 12 seconds left. You want to make sure you exhaust some of this time off, because if you don't convert here, 12 seconds is enough time for one completion and for Kansas to call timeout and try to kick a long field goal.
Fresno State fans are thinking maybe we could get a long completion and have our own field goal. Warner decides to take it himself. Hits the deck at the 43 of KU. And a timeout.
Hey, Tim, you want to know why that quarterback draw was so open? It was not on the bingo card of Kansas defense that E.J. Warner is going to be running any quarterback draws today.
Absolutely.
Very nice call there by offensive coordinator Josh Davis.
Matt Entz, a guy that came up really the tough way as a guy that coached and played at lower levels. North Dakota State, he was the head coach after being an assistant. 16-0 in 2019. Look at those FCS championships. 5 of them as head coaches. And then he made a decision that he told us yesterday he thought really helped prepare him for this opportunity. Being under Lincoln Riley and seeing how they handle the business of Division I college football, particularly with Fresno State making a move from the Mountain West into the Pac-12 starting next year, and hopefully competing with Boise State for the Group of 5 opportunity in the college football playoff this season. He said to us that, they've got great support, no question about that at Fresno, but now when you say support, it's not just about filling the stands and having great pride, but you got to give. You got to give in ways that in the past you never thought you might have to. Changing face and landscape of college football being what it is. But you know what's great about it, partner? Once the games start, the doomsaying ends, because this sport has never been more popular and has never flourished financially any more than it is right now.
Can't agree more. I think that was a really nice timeout by Kansas there to make sure they relayed the message to their defensive players. Listen, it's only 6 seconds left. They're going to try to create an opportunity to get quick yardage so that they can kick a field goal. Let's guard those quick passes, stop those quick passes from being completed, make them hold the ball so the time runs out.
Now remember Dylan Lynch, Luke Rosa preseason nominee, has kicked some long ones in his day. Got a 52-yarder against Purdue. Got to be quick. Quick out, and down he goes with a timeout. Jordan Brown on the receiving end. And
perfectly executed there by Fresno State. You get the ball and get down. Don't waste any time trying to get extra yardage. Get down, call a timeout, and the opportunity for a field goal presents itself. Really nice job. Really nice job by Matt Ince in situational football. So many times you see opportunities for situational football to come up and for you to execute, and you just don't do it. There, that's a perfect job by E.J. Warner in that offense.
Verdugo will hold. They'll set it up at the 45 of the Jayhawks, so a 55-yard try. This would be the longest ever for Lynch. He has kicked one of 52 in his career. And a timeout by the Jayhawks.
A little ice.
Yeah, why not?
A little ice never hurt anybody. It actually helps you when you're hurt.
Spoken by a man who's played hurt much of his career.
Oh, yeah, but I'm telling you, Lynch doesn't like that ice.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, man. What are you doing?
By the way, Bruce Feldman, as I mentioned earlier, is in the studio with Sarge for halftime. And the story of this game has been Jaylen Daniels, and he wrote an epic piece about Jaylen this week and about his upbringing and how that young man became the kind of leader that he is. And look, you know, all hasn't panned out well for them since they got that bowl opportunity 2 years ago when he was an all Big 12 performer. This season means so much to him. He could have gone pro. He could have opted out, but he wanted to be a full season in this brand new stadium. Here we go for 55. Low trajectory and not there. This is a jubilant 40,000 plus sellout crowd here at halftime.
Looks like the operation is good. Laces out. Just didn't have enough leg there. Pushed it to the left a little bit and a bit short. But you were talking about Bruce Feldman and his piece. Did you expect anything less?
Nothing less.
I mean, outstanding in everything he does.
The author of the Freaks List.
Oh, yeah.
Freaky Deaky.
No.
The drums are playing, and it's playing the Kansas song right now, 24/7, as we get ready to start the third quarter here at the new palatial David Booth Memorial Stadium here in Kansas, along with Devin Gardner and Josh R. Simpson, you'll hear from shortly. I'm Tim Brando. Well, listen, Jaylen Daniels has been as advertised, no question, but you'd like to signal a little word of warning for Kansas as a team because of all that he's had to do.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had to wear the cape far too much. He's had to make every single play, and it turns into a backyard football game, which he's really good at, but you do not want to rely on that. Take a look at some of these plays. He's done a nice job of manipulating the pocket, and this is very encouraging to see him be able to do this. Find a way to move up, move out, move back, move forward. Do what you have to do to get this ball down the field. You can see right here, he's going to get pressure on the outside, but he stays poised. He has initially a good pocket. He climbs in, makes the throw. However, when you start to have to play backyard football every single time, things like this can happen where you're trying to run away, you're trying to make a play, and you get kind of caught up, and then you can see him wincing there. That's something they want to stay away from as they move forward. Not only in this game, but in the season. I expect the offensive line to take a step forward after going into halftime and understanding that they're putting too much on their quarterback right now, who's playing outstanding.
No question about it, but you want him to survive the season. And in the all-too competitive Big 12, you can make a case there is no league that has greater balance. They're going to need a healthy Jaylen Daniels all season long. Not that they don't have quality backups. There are some really good players behind him. A freshman phenom, but they'd rather Jaylen make it through the year. And with more, let's go down to Mr. Sims, Josh R. on Fresno State.
Well, yeah, head coach Matt Ince told me simply too many mistakes from his team in the first half. He said it's the sign of a young football team. They knew Jaylen Daniels was a good player. No excuse for not finding ways to stop him. He said, look, effort is not an issue. We're going to continue to play hard in the second half. We need to clean up those mistakes if we want to get back in this ball game.
Yeah, Tim, I agree completely. They have great effort for Fresno State, but they just aren't able to get them to the ground when they have those opportunities. They got to start to capitalize on that here in the second half. half.
Big opening drive and begins with a bit of a muff by Richie Anderson. Pass wasn't perfect, but certainly should have been caught.
Yeah, that's a little bit what Coach Ince is talking about, right? Those are unforced errors. That's an open play, a well-designed play. You got to make that catch. It comes in a little hot from E.J. Warner. However, like you said, it has to be caught so you can have a positive play on first down.
And you're one play away from that dreaded 3rd and 10 again.
Yeah, they had a number of them in this first half. You just cannot live and play that way if you're Fresno State.
And a pre-snap penalty flag. This one may be against Kansas. Maybe Caldwell got caught leaning a little bit that time. We'll see.
Offside, number 92, defense with contact. 5-yard penalty. Still seconded.
Tommy Dunn, 92, who's next to Keenan Caldwell, 97. The guilty party.
Hey, Tim, Keenan Cole was like, hold on now. I've turned over a new leaf.
Yes, he has.
I'm making all the plays.
Absolutely.
Don't you dare get me for the penalty.
Listen,
but over that zero nose, you can get him confused because they are very big.
In the first 10 minutes of the game, he was the most valuable defensive
He was
player.
outstanding, wasn't he?
He was. 2nd down and 5. Donaldson. The shoulder square and puts that head down. Gets out to the 33-yard line. Mason Ellis with the tackle.
So the trend of Kansas having many guys in the box, that has continued. But the trend of 3rd and longs over and over again, that has stopped, at least to this point in the first half. Great job by Fresno State getting to this 3rd and very, very manageable.
3 for 7 on conversions in the 3rd down area today.
I wouldn't be surprised here if they don't get E.J. Warner on the edge with some naked bootleg action.
Yeah, here's Gilliam behind E.J. Warner. Gilliam now into the flat. This pass is caught. Gilliam, who set up shop for a first down just past the 35 to the 36. So problem solved, at least for now.
Yeah, a little birdie told me that they might get on the edge there, and that's a nice job of putting E.J. Warner on the edge. Now, is he the most dynamic runner in the country? Absolutely not. Is he Jaylen Daniels? No, but he can get on the edge and make that play. It's a nice, easy throw for him and a catch for a first down.
Both teams scored on their opening drives of the game. Kansas began to take control in large measure because of the exploits of Jaylen Daniels, but he had plenty of help in the running game to go with it. Fresno State really needs something positive to happen here. Ramirez is stopped in his tracks, no gain.
So no gain here on first down. You have to find a way to get about 5. You got to get 5 to put yourself in that 3rd and medium. I mean, obviously, you would love to get all of it and get a first down, but get about 5 yards so that you can be in a much more manageable situation than you were a number of times in the first half.
You're looking closely at Fresno State's headgear. They've got the green V on their helmets and uniforms. The playing field symbolizes California's Central Valley, the San Joaquin Valley.
We haven't seen a bunch from Josiah Freeman.
Yeah, that pass is tipped, but then caught. And Ramirez is knocked down almost as soon as he got it. Great defensive work. Loss of 2. And that makes for yet another 3rd down and long.
Run game, screen game, things that happen behind the line of scrimmage. Kansas has been all over it to this point in the game, and now it creates yet another 3rd and long, and this one's about as long as they've had all game.
Yep, 3rd and a long 12. Ball was tipped into the air by Dunn, the man that was penalized just a couple of plays ago.
Transfer out of Texas, Justice Finkley. This is his opportunity to rush.
Step up and a fire right down the middle, and it's caught by Freeman. Josiah Freeman, excellent route runner. They want to get him on track in this drive. That's a big 3rd down conversion for Fresno State.
Huge, and earlier in the game, you saw E.J. Warner backing up. This time he gets a chance to be a quarterback and slide into the pocket. I call it getting into the fight. He gets into the fight, and then another dynamic throw over the middle of the field. We've seen him do it time and time again. He does it again, and Freeman takes a big shot.
Donaldson back into the backfield, and another fantastic play. 12 yards right there for him. So all of a sudden, Fresno State's got a little something going on. 7 carries and 22 yards now for Bryson Donaldson. He stays in the game. Tight end moves into a slot left.
Two high safeties. You have an opportunity here to run the football, and I imagine that's what E.J. Warner changed the play to.
Tarwater makes that block, the tight end who was in the slot, which enables Donaldson to get ahead for about 5.
We haven't seen a bunch of that too high remove safeties from the box, right? So now the box is light. You can see E.J. Warner walk to the line of scrimmage and say, hey, listen, we're going to change this play. DK McDonald has done an outstanding job today of putting pressure on E.J. Warner, and he has to find a way to continue to do that. He snuck in that cover 2, and E.J. Warner's brain picked it up, got into the right play so they can have second down and be able to continue to move.
DK McDonald spent some time with Matt Campbell at Iowa State and also some in the NFL before this job came his way, and that pass is broken up by Lyric Rawls. He was like a heat-seeking missile that time in coverage.
Oh, yeah, he read that right away and came from his safety position and drove on it with great ability. And I'm just telling you, DK McDonald, he's looking. Can we get an interception there for a touchdown? Right, you saw it, now make the play. But now, again, 3rd and 7, 3rd and long. This is an opportunity for Kansas to send pressure if they want to continue to try to rattle E.J. Warner.
You can tell they want to get more than a field goal. They want to get the first down, keep this drive going, trailing by 17 to open the half. Warner in trouble, pressure off the edge, down he goes. Ball is loose. Kamara with the tackle. They're going to rule him down back at the 48-yard line. Bengali Kamara with the tackle and the sack. This may be close and worthy of another look.
Yeah, you can see there Bengali's dragging him to the ground. I don't think he's down. I think he fell on top of the defender as he's rolling. And the replay just showed in the stadium, and you can hear the reaction. They may have to take a look at this.
They may. And by the way, it's Keenan Caldwell that made the play, to no one's surprise.
It's a really nice rush by Bengali Kamara, who's played a really nice game today.
Well,
yeah, they're going to take a look.
Yeah, Mark Evans now is finally whistled down.
The ruling on the field that the runner was down.
Leipold was becoming apoplectic down on the sidelines before the whistle and the call down came.
Tim, I'm pretty confident I'm going to stand on the table here and say this is going to be changed.
Yeah.
And guess what? 97 making another play.
Another, yeah.
Outstanding job today so far for Keenan Caldwell.
The pride of Oak Grove, Louisiana. How about that? Small town.
Firstly, a nice job by Bengali Kamara getting to the quarterback, and then that little gator roll allows for E.J. Warner to fall on top of him and not hit the ground. And Johnny on the spot, 97 in blue.
Kamara with the sack, and then the ball comes loose. Always a good time to bring in the great one, Mike Pereira. Mike.
Hey guys, we're back. The only thing we question there, might they have ruled forward progress? If they did, then you can't get involved. But they didn't. They ruled him down. There wasn't a body part down. There was a clear recovery in that continuing action. So it's pretty apparent to us that Kansas will end up with the football.
Mike, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you doing well. I mean, there's no way we weren't going to get you on this broadcast. I don't care what's going on. You need to be on the broadcast with us.
And there's no way at any one of the Fox NFL and college football seminars that I don't get corrected by Mike Pereira.
With an immediate recovery by Kansas at the 49-yard line. First down.
And he was dead on.
It starts with the rush from Kamara, and then Caldwell finishes it off. And that's why you continue to play through the whistle and make sure that you chase the football, because good things happen when you do that. And it happened to be that Warner was not down. You get the recovery, and now the offense is back on the field.
Well, Mike is 1 for 1, and so are you.
So, yes, I am. Thank you. But sudden change here now, Tim, right? Sudden change. Do you take a shot downfield? If you're Jim Zabrowski, do you try to bury him? Do you try to make a big play down the field? And if you're defensive coordinator Nick Benedetto, you make sure that you have guys back so that they don't take that shot.
Look out. Highshaw. High stepping. And a first down inside the 30 to the 28. Pearson drags him down.
So obviously, outstanding blocking up front. Offensive line clears the way as they're going fast, but the blocking by the wide receivers down the field allows this play to be bigger than it actually is. The Alabama transfer, Emmanuel Henderson, we've known for his speed and his catching ability, but how about his blocking ability?
Well, tight end out pattern, that's Brune with a marker flying where the block in front of him was being made. Quebeca was over there. We'll see if that figures into this call.
Holding, number 3.
Yep.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Yep.
Replay first down.
So mark it back.
Yeah, after such a big play, that's the kind of a kill for you. Like, oh, man, yeah, such a good play. That's a good play as well, but holding on the outside.
Well, every head coach and offensive coordinator loves to see his wide receivers doing the job from a blocking standpoint. A lot of times, corners can be really good to turn that back when they know that block is coming. Ishaw and Williams are the setbacks out of the gun. Now 1st and 17 after the penalty. Williams. Leishon with that quick burst again. That looked a little like the 4th down play that he took in for a touchdown in the first half. Simeon Harris the stop. And they're going quickly with the ball now resting at the 13. Call it the 14. And Williams burrows ahead for yet another one, maybe 2 to the 13-yard line. Thunderbird with a stop. Here's that previous play.
56 Amir Herring and 61 Foster in the middle. Watch them get to the second level and clear a path for Leishon Williams. Outstanding job by that offensive line. The guard and center working together in unison. And this is a first-time starter in Amir Herring that transferred from the University of Michigan a couple years ago. He's been outstanding in camp. He's earned that starting position. He's working well with the very talented Bryce Foster, who is an All-American thrower on the track and field arena.
Yeah, he is outstanding. It's one of the reasons why he hung around and got to Kansas. He wanted to continue his career. That one's caught. It's Quebeca, and there's redemption.
We talked about it at halftime. What will the offensive line do? We saw on the run play just previously, and now watch the pocket as he sits in there and doesn't have to put on his cape, right? He can sit back and survey the field. Doesn't have to start to run around, and then he can find his wide receiver and fire it right down the middle of the field for a touchdown to Quebec.
Quebeca out of Westlake High School in Austin, Texas, where his teams won 56 consecutive games, 3 straight Texas 6A state championship appearances. Drew Brees' old high school. And they were really high on him when we met. That little 5-yard penalty doesn't matter much now that he picked up. It all began with the one and only Kamara by way of Bengali with the tackle and the recovery by big Keenan Caldwell, and then the touch. Inside the facility here.
Tim, that room you just saw, outstanding. It's like virtual reality walkthrough where you can put the offense or defense on the screen. I mean, ahead of its time. Outstanding.
The video is as fast as the Kansas offense.
Oh, yeah.
5 plays, 49 yards. Quebeca on the receiving end. Daniels now 15 of 17 for 160 and 3 touchdowns.
That's decent.
Yeah. And 47 yards rushing to go with it.
Yeah, he's been in complete control of this game from the start, even with the pressure of having to put on the cape in that first half. But you saw how the offensive line responded on that last drive.
So the fair catch taken. Touchback for Fresno State as they try to build for the future the remainder of this one. Jayhawks have throttled the Bulldogs thus far. Fox College Football, sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. And you can only hope to contain Josh R. Sims. He's down there with a report on Kansas coming into the second.
Yeah, well, head coach Lance Leipold told me he was happy with the way the offense established a rhythm in the first half. Really pleased with how Jaylen Daniels played out there, extending plays, getting it to his playmakers. He said defensively we were missing tackles early. We got to clean that up. But in the second half, he's happy so far, obviously, with what he's seen from this team. They want to continue to do that, extend drives, and no mistakes, no penalties, guys.
Notice how smooth and cool Josh looks down there. He was a little warm in pregame.
Outstanding.
But it's beautiful. And,
what a teammate.
About a 60-degree night right now as the sun goes down. Arsenault is in the backfield. And he carries it ahead. The senior out of Los Angeles, stopped by Dak Brinkley, redshirt freshman out of Katy, Texas. We should be able to see some of the backups for Kansas, one would think, as this game prolongs. And there's E.J. Warner's numbers. You know, the 2 turnovers have really been emblematic.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think he's performed rather well.
Yeah, he's been under duress. He started really hot, but you can kind of tell, like, falling back over and over, having to escape pressure. That's not something you can rely on, especially for E.J. Warner, who that's just not his game.
They go empty with 5 wides. Rush that pass a little. Intended for Jordan Brown. Incomplete. 3rd down and 8 coming.
And this has been the problem, right, for Fresno State on offense. They don't get much on first down, right? And so it always leads to a 3rd and long situation. And you only have so many 3rd and long calls on your call sheet, right? E.J. Warner is at a disadvantage every single time just because now you allow those defensive players to pin their ears back and get after you, and then they can play coverage in the back end.
Took over for Mikey Keene at quarterback, who's now at Michigan. And they go with a little swing out to Rashawn Luke. This is the young man that's got such speed. They were very impressed with him. They told us we'd see a lot of him, and we have. Bengali Kamara, who forced that fumble of E.J. Warner earlier, that led to the Caldwell recovery with the tackle.
That's a well-timed call by offensive coordinator Josh Davis, because you understand that these defenders are going to try to get after the quarterback and rush the passer, so you leak it the running back out with a nice screen play, and he is able to use that speed that you talked about and get the first down.
Well, even though this game may be getting a little out of hand for Fresno State, this staff has a lot to learn about their personnel. Warner's pass is incomplete and picked on the tip drill. Intercepted by Lyric Rawls. Josiah Freeman was the intended receiver. And the floodgates have opened now. 3rd career interception for Walls. Spent the last 4 seasons at Oklahoma State.
What an incredible play. Watch him drive on the play. And you see so many times defenders go for the hit and they can't make the play. Outstanding catch by Lyric Rawls. Watch him juggle this to himself. The tip, the tap, the turn, the flip, and the go around. Like I said before, who said the defensive backs can't catch?
Can you say that again real fast?
I mean, who says the defensive backs can't catch? Offense back on the field for Kansas when we get back.
The turnover bug has been problematic for Fresno State, and particularly for E.J. Warner, but not all of them are his fault. Sometimes you got a tip ball and a blindside rush that leads to a fumble. And there's Jim Zabrowski. He's having a pretty good day calling plays for Jaylen Daniels, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Williams. Well, Zabrowski said to us about Daniels, he's grown up as a player here. He's not worried about impressing NFL scouts anymore.
100%. And, you know, their relationship, it's great. You know, obviously, Zabrowski, technically a new coordinator, but he has been instrumental in continuing to develop Daniels as his quarterback coach and understanding how he thinks, what he likes, what he can do. And so you talked earlier about that list of 40 plays that he really, really likes, right? He can draw from those at any time. And you can see that they're on display tonight.
Yeah, their top 40 would rival Casey Kasem back in the day. I mean, those 40 plays look pretty good to me. The handoff goes to Daniel Highshaw, and he stopped at the 35-yard line. You know, Andy Kotelnicki was an outstanding offensive coordinator. James Franklin picked him up to work with Drew Aller at Penn State. a highly touted quarterback. And this Zabrowski-led offense looks very similar, with a lot of eye candy with formations and motions. And Daniels is very comfortable with it. Highshaw, flag down. Takes it inside the 30 before burying at the 28. 6-yard pickup. We'll check the marker.
Defense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
That's Baines, the Louisville transfer. 315-pound redshirt senior from Jacksonville. I'll be interested to see.
That's the second time we've seen where he kind of tries to hip toss and throw a guy down. And though in some sports that is an outstanding move, you just can't do it as an offensive lineman.
I'll be interested to see when they decide to allow some of the backups to get in, including this freshman phenom that we've heard so much about. Williams inside the 40 to the 39-yard line, a gain of 6. Not suggesting that Daniels should check out now, but at some point in time we may see the redshirt freshman Isaiah Marshall that's been the talk of the town here in the fall camp. Second down, 14.
Yeah, he's really wowed everyone with his ability to run and throw. He's kind of like a carbon copy of what you see from Jaylen Daniels. So I know Kansas fans are excited about him, but his teammates talk so glowingly about him, especially Daniels, talking about how he was negative 3 months before he got here. He was trying to figure out everything he needed to know.
Absolutely. Daniels, little crossing pattern, shallow cross. That's Hanukkah again, Deshaun Hanukkah, the senior that was sidelined with an Achilles a year ago. And of course, also very active. Wentz has been very much a part of this game as well.
So cool when we talk to Hanukkah, because obviously he goes elsewhere to school, and now he comes back home. Right? He comes back home and gets a chance to play after injury and different things like that. And it's kind of really cool to see him get an opportunity to make plays.
Williams came out of the game briefly, holding his wrist. And Johnny Thompson is checked in, number 20 for KU. He'll tote it right here. With those legs churning after the initial hit was made. And is stopped at the 28-yard line. That'll give him 3 on the play. 4th down and 2. Extra tight end coming in, groin. So they're going to go heavy, one would think here. Converted for a touchdown on a 4th down play in the first half.
And they've had great success on that left side of the offensive line, and with Amir Herring and Bryce Foster working in unison. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go there again.
Play fake, and once again they throw it to the tight end. Looked like he was going to be the lead blocker. Instead, pass is caught by Bowden Rowan, young man that came over from Rice as a transfer. One of 4 Kansas tight ends being used.
Tim, how about a little spider to X banana, right? You got the X outside running the banana, and then you're going to sneak the fullback into the flat. Outstanding job of Daniels, understanding that he might have pressure immediately, stopping his feet and giving him a nice little toss so he can go pick up the first down.
That was John Gruden-esque right
a
there.
A little banana route. And it's very simple. It's just shaped like a banana. The route.
Stay away from those, though, because they got a lot of carbs. Quick pitch to Highshaw. Towards the boundary, he cuts it back in and is stopped at the 17-yard line.
Yeah, you know, I've really been impressed here in the second half with the offensive line and getting a chance to watch them in practice compete as well. Obviously, Bryce Foster, the leader, number 61, the center, he's done a really nice job of making sure that his teammates, his offensive line buddies, they are on the same page, right? He holds meetings after practice where he runs it, they watch film, and Amir Herring has been under his wing, and they've worked really well together in unison on a lot of different plays.
Started every game last year at Texas A&M. Well, Elko's done a nice job with that program since taking over. Highshaw. It'll take more than one to get him down. They'll lose some yardage on that play. Fresno State staying strong. Harris and Braca collaborate on the tackle. So a loss of 6. Jayhawks now making sure that the clock goes tick, 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 tick as we head towards the end of the third quarter. Fresno State was really hoping that they could shorten the game by controlling the football. They just could not convert as well as they needed to on first down. And that became the problem as the game lingered on. Highshaw. And that's not bad on a down and distance situation of great length, and they're only a yard shy of the first down after that tote. Pickup of 8. And we've come to the end of 3. Tell you what, partner, this is as many people as we've ever seen at a game at Kansas in the modern era. And I know some of the students have left early for the fraternity houses and sorority houses, but the big bucks, those people that paid a lot of money, they're still here.
Oh, yeah.
Taking it all in, and it's all Kansas. Fox College Football, sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. As we open the fourth quarter in the land of rock chalk. Last time I was here, Devin, in 23, they tore down the goalposts after a win over Oklahoma State because it meant they were bowl eligible. I don't think they're going to be tearing down goalposts, but they are going to be celebrating the opening of this newly improved and highly renovated by David Booth, the outstanding donor. It began with $300,000 spent for the first phase, and by the time they're done with phase 2 and 3, it's going to be in the $800,000 area, and this is just wonderful to see. And they go with a little chicanery with Highshaw taking the deep snap. Well, lost some headgear, it appeared, on the way with that one inside the 15-yard line, and that'll get him to the sideline with a flag down.
It looks like they're going to get a hold on.
Holding, number 56. Yep. Offense. That penalty is declined. Runner short of the line to gain. First down, Fresno State.
That 23 season, of course, ended in the Liberty Bowl with a narrow loss in overtime to Arkansas. But I think the foundation was set by Lance Leipold at that time. And even though they had a preseason top 25 season, the way they ended it with those 3 wins over top 25 competition was something. Might be a little dispute over this flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The helmet comes off. It's clearly a face mask.
Yeah, no doubt.
That should have been offsetting penalties.
Right. At the very least.
I mean, that's as clear as it gets, huh?
Yeah. But it turns over on downs. Fresno State has the football, and Donaldson is stopped. They're not as ornery as they would normally be, but with the score where it is. But I'm with you, partner. That is without question on offsetting penalty situation. And Leipold's letting them know. Warner out of the gun with 5 wides. Look-in pattern on that slant, and it's taken in by Malolulu. Malolulu is ahead, only a yard away from a first down. Now, when we talked to Matt Entz, he was talking about 55 being his number. If my team has 55 rushing attempts plus pass completions, we win more than 80% of our game. The problems on first down, partner, was the problem.
Yeah.
35 plays now, 20 rushes, 15 completions. Scott Alexander is in midseason form with our content tonight. And wrapped up immediately is Gilliam by Trey Latham. That defensive front has been outstanding.
I mean, they do such a nice job of taking. Now, if they don't make the play, they take up the blockers, and so it allows for the linebackers, Trey Latham in this case, to roam freely and then make this play. Boom! Right there, stops him before he can get to the line again.
Latham out of Goulds, Florida, transferred in from West Virginia. Hey, the gathering of talent in this, the portal and NIL era, by the administration, the general manager of Kansas. Outstanding as that punt is taken in by Nagy. Fair catch after a 45-yard boot. Sure-handed back there, just as his dad would want. Tim Brando, Devin Gardner, Josh Sims, happy to have you with us. Week 0, the inaugural weekend of college football. Setting up shop for what ought to be a magnificent season, and particularly for those that love Big 12 football, a great start. Spotlight in Dublin, Ireland on Kansas State and Iowa State earlier today, and a close one won by the Cyclones for the 3rd consecutive time in what has always been Farmageddon. Now Kansas taking care of Fresno State here in the 4th quarter. For the time being, Daniels remains in the game. Highshaw with flags down behind him, back in the backfield. Gets a healthy gain, about a yard shy of a first down, but hold everything.
So they're going to get a hold on Amir Herring, and this is a bad call.
56, offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Tim, I want to see you be the judge here. This is a man finishing another man, right? And I don't know if you should be punished for that. He does a nice job absorbing right here to the left of your screen. He absorbed the initial contact, and he just continues to drive his feet, 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 and finishes him to the ground. I wouldn't call that a hold.
Nor would I. I'm with you. But you see that penalty called many times.
Yeah.
You really do.
It's like you're punishing a guy for being in the weight room.
Yeah. Arms extended. Flag comes down. Johnny Thompson. Quick feet. Head to the 29. I was touching on the general manager of this Kansas program. Rob Iannello is an outstanding one. Coming over from West Virginia. This is a guy, you think about all the stops that he's made, where he's been as a coach. A guy that's now a GM that has a coach's perspective, knows the right fit for a program like Lance Leipold's. And you look at these acquisitions, these newbies that have come in, you'd think that they've been a part of this program for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and it's because of the culture. I got a chance to talk extensively with Coach Leipold about his process as he vets players, because in this transfer era, you bring in guys and you do not want to get the wrong guy, the type of guy that isn't along for the ride in your locker room and doesn't fit your culture. And they've done a really nice job of hitting home runs for obviously guys that are talented, but the culture of the guys kind of ingratiating themselves into what this program is all about. He's done a nice job with that, and it's really cool to watch.
Iannello was once a head coach at Akron for a couple of years. That's where I met him. Great job. Spent time with Leipold at Buffalo. Knows a lot about what's been going on in places like Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Arizona. He's been around. Knows this sport, knows the game. Into the flat it goes to Harry Stewart III as we get into the bench just a little bit. And it's punt time on 4th down.
And I would expect that's the last drive.
Yeah, I suspect it is
for Jaylen Daniels. He's played really well. You want to get them out and give those young guys a chance to show what they're capable of. Jaylen Daniels and Cole Ballard, not Jaylen Daniels, Isaiah Marshall and Cole Ballard.
Well, that's the kind of slip when you see number 8 out there. If that 8 gets caught up in his jersey and looks like 6, you wouldn't know the difference.
Oh, yeah.
The way they play. Look at that bounce. Finn Lappin.
What a punt.
That's got to be his longest in his career. All the way down to the 4-yard line. That's a 61-yard boot.
He hasn't had a lot of opportunities, huh? Because of this guy on the screen. Jaylen Daniels just outstanding all day. Expect his day to be done.
Finn Lappin, who's making sure that the Australian quota at the punter position remains intact, taking over for Danny Graves, who transferred to Colorado because he didn't get to punt enough here at Kansas, and he gets a 61-yarder off. So Lappin, who's another veteran, pretty pumped up right here. Can you imagine you lose a guy because your offense is just too good.
Yeah.
And this is a Kansas program that I believe had the fewest transfers.
No, they were tied with Clemson. But they would have had the fewest if their punter didn't have to leave because he couldn't play.
Yeah, Leipold told us the 25-year-old Australian said, "Good day, mate, but I got to go.
I want to play. You guys are just, you're gaining too many first downs.
I have a career to think about."
Of course, yeah. But that just speaks to the culture, right? Not many guys leave this program, and it's been very impressive, like I spoke about earlier, what Lance Leipold has been able to do.
There's on Luke. I've been impressed with the speed this kid has. I can see why the Fresno State staff, particularly Josh Davis, is high on him. You know, Davis is another one of those guys, 4 seasons coaching at the NAIA level. Was hired really to build a team that Matt Ince wants to play complementary football. And that's what they're going to continue to work on, I'm sure, for the rest of this game.
And you know who was really impressed with Coach Leipold? It was Matt Ince. He was impressed with Coach Leipold has been able to do. He loves his journey, right? Similar to the way he's kind of getting into college football at the higher levels.
Yep. I tell you, I've been impressed by Austin Alexander, too. This freshman is really stout.
Oh, yeah.
And playing a cornerback position normally manned by DJ Graham, he's acquitted himself very nicely.
Tim, if you think about it, these 2 corners on the outside, Alexander and Todd, both second-year players, most of the passes, they haven't been completed on the outside of the corners. They've been in the middle of the field. So these young corners, they wanted to see how they would fare, and they've done an outstanding job. You want to know why? Because we haven't talked about them. We've said nothing about them. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. Jalen Todd, obviously from Detroit, outstanding football player, and he's been a pro since he got on campus, the coaching staff said.
2nd and 16, that pass is complete to the tight end, Richie Anderson. He's had a couple of drops today, but he gathered that one in for 11. By the way, we're speaking of Michigan, we should mention that we have a new partner in the booth that's helping Scott Alexander and Brett Bender, the guy that's warm to your heart, and a quarterback from Michigan, Jack Tuttle.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job. First time out, getting his feet wet.
Yeah. We by the way, will be having a test for Jack after the game on the choreography of the booth. What is a tipped ball? What is a fumble recovery? That kind of thing.
I got you.
Yeah, Bender's working with him on it. That's Cameron Beecham, 15, with the catch for the first down after a gain of 6.
And you know, Brett Bender, he has all the sign language. He knows exactly what to do. That hand comes out when there's a flag. He lets you know he's your eyes and ears.
He is. Can't do this alone, man. Can't do this thing alone. Brought his wife Amber with him, the twins. His son Garrett is now playing some tackle football for the first time. And the legendary Gary Bender, patriarch of the family, is back home in Arizona, a Kansas graduate, watching from the desert. Arsenault, pass incomplete. Good hit yet again. This one by Devin Dye. He's had some game too. This secondary's been outstanding.
A.J. Warner trying to get to the hole shot, and Devin Dye, boom, right on time. Jars the ball loose as the half safety. Very nice job of him getting some playing time here late in the game. He had an interception earlier in the game. Goes out there and makes a play to stop that completion.
Speaking of twins, Jalen Dye and Devin Dye.
One has a really nice name, I'm just saying. I mean, that Devin, man, he's making plays.
I think he's the elder statesman of the 2. Luke to the 29 before being pushed back.
And Tim, I want to ask you a question. Who's that in there on the tackle again?
He's everywhere.
Yeah. Devin Dye.
Devin Dye has been all over the place, but I'm still going to stay with 97 for the player of the game.
Oh, man, he set the tone, didn't he?
He did.
Keenan Caldwell was outstanding today, and the story of him is even cooler.
Yeah, it is. Quiet kid. As they say, a big guy, rotund, yes, but he's a little bit of a softy personality-wise.
Was caught in a system where it wasn't conducive to his success, you know, the way he was comfortable playing.
Here's pressure from Leroy Harris. The Tennessee Chattanooga transfer comes through. Young man from Brentwood, Tennessee, out of Christ Presbyterian. You were high on him the moment you saw him last week in practice.
Oh, yeah, a guy who came in and used all the resources. You're going to get a twist here. He's going to come right around, and watch the speed this big fella gets as he comes around and gets to the quarterback. Comes from Tennessee Chattanooga, right? You're looking, wait, this type of athlete, this big guy, he came from Tennessee Chattanooga. Why was he there? Well, he was 20 pounds lighter. He came in, he gained a bunch of weight, used all the resources here at Kansas, and now you see a dynamic athlete that's going to make a lot of plays as this season moves forward.
Nagy. He didn't want a fair catch this one, and I get it. I do. Ooh, but he maybe paid a little bit of a price there. Down at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, but you saw some of the quicks. When I was at practice, I talked to Kelly Leipold, who talked about him as a really dynamic player.
We've got a flag down. Flag down back at the 17-yard line, so we'll pause. We will not pause. We will wait.
Return team, 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, Kansas. Timeout.
So now we can take a break. A producer's nightmare just occurred, ladies and gentlemen.
The official had a bit of a smirk. I think he's happy about it. He knows he did that to us.
Well, our power player is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram, and no doubt about it, it's got to be Jaylen Daniels as we close the book on him. How efficient is that?
Yeah.
176 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns.
He's been really clean. He's done all the things you expect him to do as a dynamic player, but he's also played within the system, and now you get Cole Ballard with an opportunity.
This is the son of the general manager of the Indianapolis Colts. His dad, Chris, and Cole is a redshirt sophomore out of Westfield, Indiana. This is exactly the way the blueprint for Kansas tonight looked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly what Lance Leipold wanted to dial up. And that young man right there, the anchor of that offensive front, Bryce Foster, has been a major part of their success running the football. Also, LeSean Williams, the running back that transferred from Iowa, has had a big day and evening running the football, as has Daniel Highshaw. And now Johnny Thompson is getting the lion's share of the carries. With more on Bryce, the anchor of that offensive front, the mob, here is Josh Sims.
Well, Kansas center Bryce Foster, not just an impact player on the gridiron, also excels at track and field. In fact, he was named a second-team All-American in the shot put in the 2025 NCAA Outdoor Championships. He says now he is all focused on football, but I mean, this kid has some talent. We had a conversation with him the other day, and I think, Timmy B, you were still trying to convince him to go to the Olympics.
It's very rare that you see a guy like that in football that wants to continue his track and field career.
Tim, you tried to retire him far too quickly. He's still a really good center and all, and I think he's for sure going to be a pro. At least this coaching staff, they really believe that he's going to be a pro, or early pick, yes.
Early pick.
And then he's got the biggest legs in the world.
Oh,
look at his calves.
Yep.
His calves are larger than my torso.
Back in the day, Frank Broyles working with Keith Jackson would have said, look at the size of those calves, Keith. They're as big as I've ever seen for a young man. They're like pistons down there. They just chug along to keep that offense matriculating the ball down the field.
You are so funny.
Keith would say, yes, sir, he's a big ugly. No doubt about it.
I don't know if he would appreciate that. I don't think his mom would appreciate that.
He used to say of Broyles, who was from Georgia, well, he's just like one of those Georgia boys wiggling his toes in the red clay. That one's picked up off the ground, and down immediately goes Malulu inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. This defense has been outstanding, too, for the Jayhawks all day long, making D.K. McDonald happy as well. Beautiful night for a magnificent opening in the newly renovated David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium, and everyone's leaving here happy. The lobby of the Oriad should be jumping later tonight. First down 10 for Fresno State. And here goes Donaldson again. He's still running hard, gets it up to the 15-yard line. Now you look at this Fresno State team coming off this loss. This was going to be a tough one to get. Georgia Southern comes up next for them. Then they go to Oregon State. And the Beavers looking to welcome everyone into the Pac-12. That will soon be a conference game for Fresno State when they get into the new world order of the Pac-12. That doesn't begin until next year. This season, they're going to be battling with Boise State and a few other teams for the UNLV, especially, I think, with Dan Mullen at the helm for the Mountain West title. Donaldson gets ahead for about 3. And here's the changes we're talking about. Washington State, Oregon State, Cal, Stanford, UCLA, USC, Utah. That used to be the Pac-12. Well, now, guess what? It's changed. In 24-25, Washington State and Oregon State got all the TV money that they were owed. Then the expansion began, and they're all states. Washington State, Oregon State, San Diego State, not a state, but you get the drift. Boise State, Utah State, Colorado State, Texas State, and Gonzaga will be competing in the Pac-12 as well from a basketball standpoint.
Sounds like the Big State Conference.
Yeah, it's all the Big State Conference.
Yeah.
Thought it was interesting that UNLV didn't make the cut, given what they have, the market size, but they wanted to keep it with states, even though Fresno's not a state. I digress. I can't see that video enough. The new locker room is just beautiful inside. And as it continues to grow with this program that Lance Leipold has authored, one thing we know for sure, not since Mark Mangino was here has as many games been won as Kansas has in the last 3 years. And a quick 30-second timeout taken before we come back to play.
Yeah, I think Kansas assumed that they would punt, but they have the offense on the field ready to go for it. So,
a reminder, since the moment it was announced, circle it. Arch Manning, in a lot of ways, this is the #1 storyline in college football. Like it or not, and there are many that don't, but the Manning family is the #1 family in college football, in all of football, really. And they take on the defending champion Buckeyes of Ohio State. Big noon Saturday. It all starts with big noon kickoff live from Columbus. Rob Stone, Matt Leinart, lefty, along with the one and only Brady Quinn. And head coach Urban Meyer, all will be on hand. And the Bear, Chris Felica, they decide to go for it. And to no avail, as Warner's hauled down by Devin Dye yet again, and it goes over on downs to Kansas.
it looks like Isaiah Marshall might get his opportunity here.
Yeah.
And a little more on that Texas-Ohio State game. Don't forget, Ohio State's breaking in a new quarterback, Julian Sand. And I'm just telling you, ultra talented. I remember coaching him at the Elite 11 and being very impressed with his ability to just make any throw. And obviously, there's no defense and things like that, but very, very cool.
Look at our game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. What a show Jaylen Daniels put on. Only incomplete twice. Quebeca was on the receiving end of a touchdown as they really sort of put it away late in the second quarter. And as you mentioned, Isaiah Marshall is on the field. And he is special. Little quarterback power to start. Like the Red Sea opens up, he takes it all the way to the pylon and just a little shy. Maybe a yard or, inside the 2-yard line, a yard and a half away from Vader.
You see that burst? You see that burst?
Oh, yeah.
Right? He doesn't look like he has great burst, but my goodness, look at him get hit downhill, and he's going to be a load to tackle. Poof!
Yeah.
Right? And he continues to run. He's chomping at the bit for an opportunity, and he gets it.
Talk about thighs and calves. He's got them too, right?
Yeah, that's his boy, Jaylen. He said, listen, it was -3 months when he started texting and calling me, trying to figure out everything about this program and everything he needed to know, and who better to learn from than Jaylen Daniels.
Time to sit on it. He'll take a knee now. But I think he made his point with just one play.
Just one play.
That's all he needed. You know, that's the kind of kid that in practice, right, in his first year, he's zipping the ball around, and offensive coordinator, maybe the quarterback's coach comes over and says, Have a seat. You're good. We're fine. Get Jalen back out there.
Yeah, he and Cole Ballard, they battled all offseason for that number 2 spot. Now, and the battle wages on, as you can see.
Right.
And next year, it'll be a great battle for those two to figure out who's going to be the starter for Kansas moving forward.
Well, partner, you and I have a pretty active week coming up.
Yes, we do.
Get home for a nice
half a second, cup of tea.
Have a half day home on Sunday and Monday. Then we hit the road again. We'll go up to Minnesota for a matchup on FS1 between Buffalo, the former program of Lance Leipold before he came here. They'll be taking on Minnesota. Row the boat time with P.J. Fleck. That's a sleeper team of the Big Ten, by the way.
It is.
They're awfully good.
We've got some really good players breaking in a new quarterback as well. And Drake Lindsey is something to behold, I believe.
And by the time we get to Ames, Iowa for our third game, Gus and Joel will just be finishing up game number 1. And a big, big win on opening night, especially for Coach Leipold and the Jayhawks. And Matt Ince is in good stead for the future. He learned a lot about his team tonight. A big thank you to our crew in the studio and our crew here on site here in Lawrence, Kansas. Our content coordinator, Scott Alexander. Our spotter, Brett Bittner. Spotter for the wonderful Devin Gardner. Jack Tuttle. And Michael Barshop, who keeps us all together on the road. This is Tim Brando saying goodbye for now, but we're going to take you into Los Angeles for a wrap-up from Sarge and Bruce Feldman. Much more coming your way. Good night, at least for now, from Lawrence, Kansas. We'll see you on Thursday on FS1.